Octane Racing was an idea planted by extremely passionate engineers in 2011. Since then, the team has gained a reputation for making arguably some of the most successful combustion vehicles, which have been ranked amongst the top 5 race cars in the country.
Hello everyone, this is Hamza Jamadar, captain of Team Ashwamedh. Today in the discussion we have Atharva Shinde, ex-captain of Octane Racing. Hi Atharva, to start with, I would like to know your introduction, current position with respect to your career, and what are your short-term as well as long-term goals.
So my name is Atharva Shinde. I was the captain of Team Octane Racing in the season of 2018 and 19. And right now, I'm the co-founder of Hovers, which is a digital marketing agency. We are working with brands in India, UK, Kuwait, and also USA. Apart from that, I have my family business, and I've been running that after completing my masters from University of Warwick. So that's what I'm currently doing right now. In the 5 year plan, the thing with me is I want to get into the electric vehicle space in India, be it be a electric scooter, electric commercial vehicle, or a shared platform for electric vehicles. So that is one of the short-term goals. But also apart from that, there is a lot of interest that I have in the automobile ancillary sector, auto ancillary. So you might be looking as I am in Pune, and I've been through a lot of internships in the automobile sector. I was in ARAI for a year of internship. So I've got to know a lot about the auto ancillaries industry, and it's a very good sector for Pune. And because Pune is a hub for automobile manufacturing, there is a lot of scope in auto ancillaries. Also with the electronic vehicle chip going up. So that is a long-term plan for me in this sector. Yeah. So there are a lot of things apart from Team Octane Racing that were in my mind, which I had to work on afterwards. As my family and we are into food manufacturing business, the manufacturing thing was there from the start. And as I started the process of manufacturing the composite parts, my interest on making or manufacturing things increased a lot. Rather than designing, I got a lot of thing in making the stuff. Okay, so getting the thing from design to reality was the main thing I was actually gaining a lot of experience in, and I like doing that. That's what I realized by the end of third and fourth year. So, in terms of manufacturing, Warwick is one of the best schools for manufacturing in the whole world, and they have a dedicated in department called Warwick Manufacturing Group, which houses a lot of companies. It houses Jaguar and Land Rover Research and Development Wing. It houses Tata Motors. It houses Lotus now, and apart from that, Bajaj. Rajiv Bajaj sir himself is an alumni of Warwick Manufacturing Group, and he has done the same course that I have done. So it's kind of an inspiration from COEP and that I have for the Bajaj group. Also, his brother Sanjeev Bajaj is from Warwick. The TVS family is from Warwick. So there's a lot of industrialist families that are there in Warwick, and I had to become a part of that and also learn a lot about the manufacturing part of it, as it had been through the last years. And as my bachelor's was also production, it was a wise choice for me to go for the manufacturing rather than changing my stream completely. Right now, people from production engineering or even mechanical, they do their masters directly in MBA, which is not a wrong decision actually. But then it's changing the field a bit. So it depends on what kind of work you want to do or what kind of goal you want to achieve with your career. For me, it was halfway working on the management side, halfway working on the manufacturing side because of the family business or any other thing that I wanted to do in future. I could have just done an MBA, but that is not what would have helped me. I might pursue an MBA or a executive MBA afterwards, but that's for a later stage. I wanted a techno management degree. That was the main thing why, and that too in manufacturing. So that is why Warwick was the best option for me. And apart from that, I had got a scholarship from the department. So I went.
Firstly, when did the automobile bug bite you? Was it during your schooling or any other time?
The automobile bug. Okay. The thing with me and my dad is like my dad loves bikes. Okay. He doesn't like cars much, but he loves bikes. So we had a lot of bike collections at home. The thing which happened with me was I had to go to school every day, and he could not get the time to send me to school on his bike. Okay, so we got a car. So our first car was Hyundai Accent, and it was the petrol version. So that car was like the first car that I started driving and I started learning on. The second car that we had was a Skoda Laura, and I am still in love with the car. It's been 10 years, and that car is the car that actually got me into driving, actually got me into cars. I started learning about cars, I started reading about cars. It was in my seventh, eighth that I had a Nokia C2, the small phone that has a small screen, and I had, I think, around 800 MB of car photos on it, all wallpapers and photos and everything on it. So that's when I actually started liking the car industry, and I started watching about motorsports. I started watching about cars, everything. And my favorite car company from that time has been Maserati, right from the start till now. And hope so. It might be in my garage soon.
You invested your 3.5 year in Octane Racing, and if we see your profile, it goes from composites and aerodynamics head in your first year to marketing and finance head, and lastly being the captain.
So what happened with me is that we came into the college, and it was the first week of college itself. And usually with our team, Octane Racing, we have the inductions around when the new admissions come in. So it was the first week of college, and on the first Saturday of COAP, I went in and we saw posters of Team Octane Racing around the whole campus, and we were like, "What is this?" So that's when we filled the form, we got it, and got inducted in the team. Me and three of my friends from the first year. So they actually stood with me since the like from the first year till the end. Our vice captain and our team manager, they were with me from the start. So we four went into the team, and actually it just started after that. We started spending so much time with the team that the 4 years of engineering went more into Formula student than into engineering. So there was no point where actually I still feel like I should have been in the team, but just because engineering ended, there is no option now that we can go back. But if given an option, I'll still be in the team. It was such a thing for us, and it started literally from week one of college. So I myself have not seen engineering life outside Formula student or outside team Octane Racing. So that was the thing. I started with aerodynamics. I was selected for the aerodynamics team. Then I went into becoming the aerodynamics head in the second year. After that, I was the composites head in the third year. And also, along with composites, I was doing sponsorship and marketing. And after that, it so happened that I got the chance of becoming the captain of the team. And also, I was the one of the drivers, actually the third or fourth driver according to the event. I was not the main driver, but one of the drivers. So that is what the whole journey Formula Student was all about for me in the sport. But I still have a lot of connection with the team. I still keep giving inputs, and they actually come up with a lot of suggestions what I should be doing and what how I should be helping the team. What all suggestions will be required. So those were the 4 years of team Octane racing for me.
So this was about your journey, talking about motorsports and COEP. How did that journey start and with which event?
So in COAP, the motorsports didn't start with Team Octane Racing as such. It started with Team Nemesis Racing, and Team Nemesis Racing is like everyone in the Baja clubs knows Team Nemesis Racing. They are one of the teams to look at, and even for us, they were a kind of motivation. And both the teams in our college, Team Octane and Team Nemesis Racing, have a very good bonding with each other in terms of helping each other, in terms of sharing knowledge, and sharing a lot of manufacturing work and manufacturing time as well. So in that way, motorsport started 12 years back in COAP. So, and it was by our previous director, Dr. Anil Sahasrabudhe, who is now the head of AICP. So he had the vision of starting motorsports in the college. He wanted people to learn from experience. So he had started the Robot Study Circle club in the college. He started the Baha team, and apart from that, other technical related clubs in COEP. And so what happened is the motorsports thing started with Team Nemesis Racing. Some of the people in Team Nemesis Racing thought of starting a car for Supra because the cars are
Okay.
different, the type of activity is different, the events are different. It requires a
Mm.
different kind of minds and setting and types of interest. So a ATV and a race car is a completely different thing. So
Completely different.
some of them, eight of them, as we know, came out of the
Mm.
Baha team and started the team Octane, and that is the name Eight Octane. That is how the name
Oh.
came into being,
Mm.
and it started in 2010. So
Okay.
since
Mm.
2010, we have been making cars each year, and right now we are on the second car for our electric season.
Mm.
So the
Mm.
first car, as you know, Alpha Electronica, was the first car for FB, which stood second, and now we are on the second car.
Mm.
So it went into a transition. We started with Maruti 800 engine for the Supra,
Mm.
which was the compulsion at that time. Then
Oh.
we went directly onto KTM 390. Then we
Mm.
went on to KTM 390 with turbocharging. It was a collaboration with Honeywell, truth be told.
Okay.
And it was a
Okay.
collaboration from the college side as well as some of our alumni side.
Mm.
And we had as Bajaj is our main sponsor, and Rajiv Bajaj sir is himself the alumni of COEP. We had
Mm.
a kind of bonding with Rajiv Bajaj sir through the college, through the team, and because of that, we struck a deal in such a way that it helped them as well. All our testing for the turbocharger was done in the Bajaj facility. All the dyno
Okay.
was done in the Bajaj facility, and that was a kind
Mm.
of their sponsorship and help towards the team. And even we gained a lot of knowledge. They gained a lot of knowledge about the engine that they were making in terms of KTM, and it was
Mm.
a win-win situation on both the sides. So because of
True.
that,
True.
we could achieve it. It's not just a one-person thing or just from our team, but it was the involvement of three or four stakeholders in that.
During this, I feel the collaborative effort of industry and students is very much necessary, and projects can be skyrocketed. Coming back to the event, which was your first Formula Student event, and how did the team evolve after that?
Okay, in terms of the first event, FSI
Mm.
16, which was the last FSI that happened. Okay, so it was held in Bodh International Circuit in Delhi, and it was my first event. Having a dream of visiting Bodh International Circuit itself for an event was enough during that time. And after that, when we visited the circuit, the event went a bit like I wouldn't say very bad as such, but it didn't go as we planned. We could
Okay.
not finish the endurance at that time. The car had a breakdown, and it
Mm.
even after the breakdown, we could manage to get overall fourth position in FSI. But it was not a satisfactory event for the team. We wanted to
Okay.
actually get the whole endurance done and then get into the podium, and that somewhere was inculcated into my mind that we have to strive for the podium now. Whatever is, this is my first event. In the first event, we couldn't succeed, but whatever
Mm.
happens now in the future, I would not leave this team until we see the podium. And I am lucky that I could achieve it till the end of my tenure, where we went to the podium. And till that time, our team was in a bit of a slump, to say, because the first event we had that breakdown. In the second Supra, we had a brake failure, and that was a major setback for the team during the Supra event. So
Mm.
we couldn't get into the dynamics after the brake test thing happened, and the overall
Mm.
ranking of the team due to that came very low. Our college also had put a lot of a pressure on the team. So overall, some bits of the enthusiasm for the team were lost. It's not always that you will see the good days. It's the bad
Mm.
days that you will see where the team is actually functioning together or not. So we were in a bit of dark days during that time. Then we made the Falcon 3, which was the car with the whole aero kit, and we went to Formula Bharat, and that setback pulled us forward.
Mm.
So that setback actually told us that we have to get the car into such a condition now that we know that it's not going to fail in the event. We went
Mm.
so good into reliability that the car was from my point of view, undestructible. That is what happened in the event. As I told you, the car cleared the TI first, and it went through the whole event, even after breaking a wing and some of the small things that happened in the event every time. So, but the car was literally indestructible, and that we ensured because of testing. There's nothing else that can be done to get till that place. The car will be made nicely, everything will be done. But in my 4 years of Formula student, I've seen that just making the best car is not enough. It's never enough. That car was made reliable by testing, and that is how we knew that okay, this event is going to go good. But when we made the car that reliable, it actually meant adding weight. And when we started
Yeah.
adding weight during the in the car with the aero kit or any other things that we did to make the car reliable, it passed the technical inspection. It went into the dynamics, but then it didn't perform in the dynamics. So we lacked in the performance of the car. We had a reliable car, we were lacking performance. Earlier in Formula Student, when the teams were not mature enough in terms of engineering, just completing the TI and getting into dynamics was enough to get you into top ranks. But not the situation. The competition has increased a lot. Now, even if you have a performing car, you have to get all the spots right. And that is what we learned in Formula Bharat 18, FB 18, where we had another failure from the turbocharger and we couldn't, unfortunately, complete the endurance. So that was our first car with the turbocharger. And because we focused during that time on the performance aspect, because last year we had focused on reliability. Next year we focused on performance and we made the car for performance. The weight of the car was reduced by 30 kgs even after adding the turbocharger. So that was a very high level focus on reducing the weight of the car. And Falcon 4 was the first car with the turbocharger. The powertrain was very good, the acceleration was very good, but then the reliability of the car was somewhat hindered because of the performance aspect. We couldn't test it as much as we should have, is what I believe happened. And we came ninth in the event because of the endurance. So, as I told, that just finishing the dynamics is not enough. Then, when I got in as the captain, we had a decision of what to do, what to focus on. So, in that time, the main focus, because of my first year, as I told you, the main focus was podium, but not missing out on the reliability as well as the performance of the car. So, what we did is we did not focus on changing the drivetrain because the performance was really good. We optimized the car. We made a new car with a optimized setup for the old design. The performance was better than before, the reliability was better than before, and the third thing that you need now for the perfect recipe of podium is a great team. Your car will be made, your powertrain will be great, your performance will be great, but if you don't have a team, you will not go anywhere. You'll just sit in college not attending the event. It
True,
can go
true.
that bad. And it's very difficult to actually make a very good team when you are in
Team.
college and you have limited resources. You can't go to other resources. You have to deal with what you have. So in terms of Formula Student, that is the main challenge that many teams have. The whole college itself, people do not first of all come for Formula Student. Then they face of problems that we don't have drivers or we do not have enough licenses in the team.
Mm,
So all
exactly.
these things start happening, and that is the main crux of the game. All teams can make cars, all teams can make great cars. We have seen great cars fail because of the team.
The profile also includes an experience with the boat club. Can you share a bit about the boat club?
Sports is a compulsory activity, yeah. So you have to do one of the sports that you can. So we had to get into the boat club as one of the sports that you have to do in college in order to complete your sports category for academics. So we had to get into regatta, and we did that in the first year itself. And you can do a lot of things into the boat club, may it be punting, rowing, or any other kayaking.
Is it like you have to attend a single event, or there any fixed tenure to it?
There is a fixed tenure to it. And in terms of boat club, if you're doing the boat club, you have to participate in the event. So we did participate in the event. I can't remember the exact year of the regatta that we participated in, but it was after the 90th regatta, so somewhere around 92 or something like
And listening to this, I think all colleges should include a sports club, as sports is something which is neglected by many engineering colleges as well as the students. Talking about the team, The transition from a combustion vehicle to an electric vehicle isn't everyone's cup of tea, as the major challenge is funding. So, how did Octane Racing manage this transition?
So, in terms of funding, it's true that electric teams require a lot of funding more than the combustion, and the whole funding actually goes into batteries and the motor. So, the motor gets more expensive than a combustion engine, and up from that, the second cost that comes in is the batteries. Batteries in electrics are as expensive as the engine that you have in CV. So now you are double the cost. And in the combustion vehicle, we might be not thinking about insulation and all those things. But in terms of electric vehicle, the insulation and all those things become compulsory with the rule book. So that also gains a lot of cost. So you are going to increase the cost of the car by around 150%. So if you are working on a 5 to 10 lakh budget right now, your budget is going to go to 25 around. Many teams have struggled because of the budget thing, and it is a constraint that you have to work with when you are shifting to electric. It is related to safety, the drivetrain, and because it is a very different thing from the combustion vehicles, you have to increase the budget. There is no cost cutting that you can actually do. So, in that way, what we did with our thing is that we used the name of the team and the history of the team. Our event of Supra as well as FB19 was very good for us. So the whole year for us got in around 7 awards. So those awards helped us in telling people that now actually we have done a lot of work with the combustion vehicle, and now it's time to shift to electric. So we had some of our sponsors telling us that if you're going green, we'll be happy to help you more. And that actually gave us a push. It was a very difficult decision actually for the team of from shifting, because when you go for a Formula student, you are a petrol head. Shifting to an electric car takes much of the dream that you came in the team for. But it was the decision of the team in 2019 when I was the captain. I was just leaving that okay, we are going to go for electric, and now whoever is the next captain is going to be the first captain for the electric category. So that is where we had in mind that we have to get into the sponsorship this year, and for that we did a successful crowdfunding on Keto, and that pulled in a lot of cash for us. Apart from that, because we were the first electric car for COAP, Bajaj gave us a sponsorship and he became the title sponsor for us. That title sponsorship helped us in getting the engine as well as the batteries. And the crowdfunding helped us make the whole drivetrain. Apart from that, the normal sponsorships that we're getting for combustion vehicle continued for the electric. And that way we could pull in enough sponsorship in order to manufacture the electric car. And I think we did it very successfully and in a very short span of time. We shifted in 1 year directly from a combustion to a electric, and that too with the car that completed the TI and went till the event and went on the second position. So it was a very big fleet for the team that came after me. I actually respect the dedication of our team in changing the whole drivetrain in 1 year. It was not a easy task at all, but we had to do it. There, uh, the reason we had to do it because the shift from combustion to electric is eminent in the Formula student teams and around the globe.
Yeah.
So in that way, someday or the other, you have to get into the electric. Either you are also making a car with the combustion or you are completely shifting. So it's upon the team or upon the college of what they are doing. But we couldn't actually pull in so much resources to make two cars or run two teams in the college, and that is what based our decision on getting the team into just electric, and we changed the name of the team from Team Octane Racing to Team Octane Racing Electric. That is how the transition happened.